who are some students in the school that we think would be like awesome peacemakers. Right now, before we start to identify some students, I want us to come up with a list of things that we need to see in that person. The first thing I had heard about the role was that it was more instructional based. And so I thought it would be really interesting to bring in restorative practices and culturally relevant curriculum. It's a different approach to coaching. For me, it's not just about restorative practices, it's about taking my culture, my students' culture, the voice of the students, and then looking at everything through an equity lens. My own experience is that once that's all established within a classroom, the learning is secondary. So who wants to take responsibility to actually write out that survey?
So the genesis of us connecting the Empowered Schools work to restorative practices really connects back to our continuous improvement work plan. Restorative approaches to discipline is one of our 5 CIWP priorities. In looking at the mix of priorities and some of the teacher leadership structures we had in place, there was a gap in the teacher leadership work related to restorative practices. So I lovingly joke with our dean that ultimately what we're trying to do is put him out of business. Where I want to drastically reduce the customer base in the dean's office. And how do we do that? Well, that means we need some work in the classrooms to help support teachers with their practices in Domain 2 in the framework for teaching, so that teachers and students have strong connections and relationships as foundations for learning.
Every single day is completely different. I coach 5 teachers in the building. Sometimes I'm in meetings with the principal. I have RP meetings, and then I co-teach a class that we call the Change Makers, which is our student voice committee. Principal Kennedy is distributing leadership, and I as a coach am trying to go into classrooms and model that same thing. My hope is that teachers within the building will start to distribute the leadership within their classrooms and give students a voice to then better build community and allow for more learning to happen.
If we are going to achieve the vision that I have for making us a thriving, sought-after neighborhood high school, teacher leadership has to be a key part of making that happen in an effort to support the professional growth of those who are here. The Empowered Schools cohort really helps us do that.